The Kermadec Islands Arc is a region of high seismic activity in the South Pacific Ocean. It is close to New Zealand and Australia and threatens vast cities such as Auckland, Sydney, and Brisbane. In addition, this area has been the site of the most powerful earthquakes in recent centuries. It is filled with dozens of underwater volcanoes, and scientists believe it is one of the places in the world where the next mega earthquake could occur. What impact would a possible mega earthquake in this place have on the climate? How would it affect the nearest cities and the rest of the world? Keep watching to find out. Europeans discovered the Kermadec Islands in 1788 when the British ship Lady Penrhyn sighted them during its voyage to the Pacific. Later, in the 1790s, the French captain Jean-Michel Huon de Kermadec visited the islands as part of the L'Entrecasteaux expedition, and the archipelago is named after him in his honor. Below the islands, on the seafloor, is the Kermadec Islands Arc, a chain of volcanic islands and seamounts stretching from New Zealand to Tonga in the South Pacific. It was formed during the subduction process, in which the Pacific plate slowly sinks 6 centimeters a year beneath the Australian plate, making it one of the most active subduction zones on the planet. As this plate moves into the Earth's mantle, enormous amounts of pressure and heat are generated, resulting in intense seismic and volcanic activity. The Kermadec Arc is one of the most active regions of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a tectonic belt that surrounds the Pacific Ocean and is home to 90% of the world's earthquakes. This ring is home to some of the planet's most significant faults and has been responsible for some of the worst natural disasters in history. What makes it so dangerous? One of the reasons why the Kermadec Islands Arc is so dangerous is not only because it has a lot of seismic activity, but because under the ocean, hidden from view, are some of the most active volcanoes in the world. There are more than 30 underwater volcanoes in this area. Yes, as you heard, there are more than 30 underwater volcanoes in one place. Several of these have shown signs of activity in recent years. Among them are Monowai Volcano has experienced multiple underwater eruptions detected by seismic sensors. Brothers Volcano, which contains a highly active hydrothermal caldera. Macaulay Volcano is the most significant volcanic structure in the region. What happens if one of these volcanoes erupts? According to some researchers, such as Dr. Cornell E.J. Daronde, principal investigator at GNS Science New Zealand, underwater eruptions can release vast amounts of lava and gases. Still, their greatest danger is the possibility of generating tsunamis. When an underwater volcano erupts explosively, it can displace vast volumes of water, sending giant waves toward nearby shores in minutes or hours. Let's remember that the Kermadec Islands are located in the Pacific Ocean, so when a tsunami occurs here, it can reach the coasts of all the countries bordering the Pacific Ocean. Which places are the most vulnerable if a mega earthquake occurs in this location? When we think of earthquakes and tsunamis, we usually imagine their impact on regions near the epicenter. But did you know that a mega earthquake in the Kermadec Islands Arc could affect countries thousands of miles away? This underwater volcanic arc is approximately 1,000 kilometers northeast of New Zealand and 800 kilometers southwest of Tonga. Although it is in the middle of the ocean, its seismic activity can affect multiple regions and countries beyond it. What are the closest cities and how would they be affected? The closest cities to the Kermadec Arc include Auckland, New Zealand, 1,000 kilometers. This is the largest and most populous city in New Zealand. In the event of a magnitude 9.0 megaquake, the city could experience significant shaking, with the risk of building damage, power outages, and a possible collapse of coastal infrastructures due to a tsunami. Wellington, New Zealand, 1,200 kilometers. The country's capital would also feel strong tremors, and there is a risk of landslides and damage to its coast. Earthquakes in the Kermadec Arc can generate tsunamis that travel at speeds of 800 kilometers per hour, so they can reach the shores of New Zealand in just an hour. Nuku'alofa, Tonga, 800 kilometers. The capital of Tonga could be hit even more by its proximity. Waves up to 20 meters high could devastate the island in minutes, destroying everything in its path. Although Australia is 2,500 kilometers away, a mega earthquake in the Kermadec Arc could generate a tsunami reaching the east coast in hours. Cities like Sydney and Brisbane could experience multi-meter waves, especially on the beaches. While the nearest cities and populated areas will be the most affected by a mega earthquake, a mega tsunami originating in this area would be felt on the other side of the world, reaching Japan and the Philippines, more than 8,000 kilometers away, with moderate waves in less than 12 hours. The west coast of the United States and Mexico, more than 9,000 kilometers, with waves of up to 1.5 meters in about 13 hours. South America could feel waves of lower impact in less than 15 hours. The Kermadec Arc is a silent threat, but without a doubt the most affected cities would be those of Tonga and New Zealand, since they are the closest and therefore the ones that would be the most affected, to such a degree that they could even reconfigure much of the geography and appearance of the cities, especially in coastal areas. A mega earthquake in this area would be disastrous. But to better understand its effects, let's look at what earthquakes have been like in the past. Hey, before moving on, be sure to like or dislike the video so that we can improve them for you, the viewer. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by making sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Earthquakes of the past in the Kermadec Arc. The Kermadec Islands Arc has experienced multiple earthquakes throughout its history. Some have been documented recently, while others have left only traces in geological records. Let's look at some of the most significant events on record. April 24, 2023, magnitude 7.3. Can you imagine feeling an earthquake in the ocean and hearing the tsunami alarms begin to sound in minutes? This happened on April 24, 2023, in the Kermadec Islands Arc, when a magnitude 7.3 earthquake shook the region. The quake's epicenter was 49 kilometers deep, raising concerns about the possibility of a tsunami. March 5, 2021, magnitude 8.1. This was a small earthquake followed by a much stronger earthquake. First, a magnitude 7.4 earthquake occurred. Soon after, a powerful magnitude 8.1 earthquake shook the area. This was one of the most important events recorded in the region in decades. A tsunami watch was issued for New Zealand, Hawaii, and other areas of the Pacific. Although the tsunami generated was smaller than expected, it served as a reminder that a more significant earthquake is yet to come. May 16, 2006, magnitude 7.6. On May 16, 2006, a strong 7.6 magnitude earthquake at the Kermadec Arc generated tremors far from Christchurch, New Zealand. Although it did not cause a significant tsunami, this earthquake alerted seismologists to tectonic activity in the area. Mega earthquakes in prehistory. Although there is no written evidence of mega earthquakes that have occurred in this region in the past, some research, such as that of scientist James Goff, a leading figure in the study of fossil corals and sand deposits in New Zealand, has found evidence that could suggest that between 600 and 1,000 years ago, a mega earthquake of magnitude greater than 9 could have hit the region, generating a massive tsunami that would have affected the coasts of the South Pacific. Could an event of this magnitude happen again in the future? The answer is yes, and when that happens, the impact could be felt across the southern hemisphere and beyond. Are we prepared to face it? That's the big question. The danger is at the bottom of the ocean. The Kermadec Islands Arc is a seismic fault home to more than 30 active underwater volcanoes. When a mega earthquake occurs, the movement of the Earth's crust can directly impact volcanoes. What happens to an underwater volcano during an earthquake? Earthquakes immediately affect the underwater volcanoes of the Kermadec Islands. The Monowai volcano is a clear example, as seismic and volcanic activity have been interconnected with regional earthquakes. Some of the effects that an underwater volcano can cause during an eruption are Hot lava can raise the local temperature of the ocean, altering ocean currents. The release of gases such as sulfur dioxide and CO2 can acidify the water and affect sensitive marine species. The eruption can create new islands or seamounts, changing the nearby geography. During an ordinary earthquake, a pair of underwater volcanoes can increase their activity and effects on the water. These effects increase considerably when an earthquake of great magnitude, such as the one that occurred on April 24, 2023. But what would happen if a mega earthquake occurred? During an event of this magnitude, a chain effect could activate most submarine volcanoes, causing underwater eruptions that release gases, lava, and mineral particles in unprecedented proportions. These would have immediate effects on the marine ecosystem of the entire region. If an earthquake of magnitude 9 or greater were to occur in the Kermadec Arc, effects on the Pacific Ocean could include a large displacement of the Earth's crust that could modify currents such as the Humboldt or the Equatorial Pacific Current, affecting ocean heat distribution. If underwater volcanoes were to erupt simultaneously, they could release vast amounts of CO2 and sulfur into the atmosphere, affecting the global climate. During an underwater eruption, the water temperatures in the area increase. If a mega earthquake were to occur, a chain reaction could cause many underwater volcanoes in this region to erupt simultaneously. This would drastically increase the ocean's water temperatures, breaking the water's thermodynamic balancer, and in the worst case, breaking the cycle of ocean currents. This would be a fatal blow to the environment and have repercussions throughout the planet. Ocean currents regulate the global climate, transporting heat from the equator to the poles and distributing nutrients in the oceans. If the balance of ocean currents were temporarily disrupted, the world would experience extreme weather changes. Marine currents are based on the water's temperature and salinity difference. When a catastrophic event, such as a mega earthquake or an underwater volcanic eruption occurs, the ocean temperature can change, producing climatic changes that are felt throughout the planet. Modifying the temperature of the water weakens key currents such as the Gulf Stream, which affects the water cycle, causes some marine species to die, and intensifies the effect of climatic phenomena such as hurricanes. As we can see, a mega earthquake in this area would drastically affect New Zealand, and submarine eruptions would affect the Pacific Ocean and the entire planet. Will another mega earthquake occur in the Kermadec Islands Arc? The question is not if a mega earthquake will occur at the Kermadec Arc, but when. This region, located on the boundary of the Pacific and Australian plates, has been building up tectonic stress for centuries. When this energy is finally released, the impact could be catastrophic. New Zealand and other Pacific countries have early warning systems, but an event of this magnitude would test global response capacity. The scientific community is skeptical about when the next mega earthquake will occur in this area. Some scientists think it will not occur in the next 20,000 years, but others think there is insufficient information to determine an exact date. So it is best to stay alert and continue investigating this area of the world. Will one of the subscribers of this channel be the scientist who discovers when this event will occur? The Kermadec Islands Arc is one of the most dangerous regions on the planet. Extreme seismic and volcanic activity can eventually lead to a megaquake. The buildup of stress on the subduction fault will make an event of magnitude 9 or greater inevitable in the coming years, posing a risk to New Zealand, the Pacific Ocean, and the rest of the world. An earthquake of this magnitude could generate a mega tsunami, trigger underwater volcanic eruptions, and disrupt ocean ecosystems, affecting our entire planet's climate and marine life. Now we want to know what you think. Are we ready to face a disaster that could change history? Let us know what you think in the comments.